Okay, Baruch Hashem, we come down to Olam Hazeh. We come down from Shemayim. We're born to this world, into an alam of the Shikra, into a world of Sheker. Sheker Achein Vehevel HaYofi. That everything that we seem to want, Chen and Yofi, Shkoyach. On the surface, though, has a sheker to it. There's a falseness, there's a deception in this world. We come down to this world, and Hashem says the only way you're going to make it out alive is if we put an neshama inside of you. We'll put a soul inside of you, we'll implant a neshama inside of you, so you know how to navigate this world. The neshama is like a great light, and you're in a dark place, and you have a lantern, you have a light that's guiding you, and the path becomes clear through the neshama, through the light. Like Reb Nachman taught us, how do we activate that das, Shkoyach? We activate it through Torah, by learning Torah. Torah is called Oiraisa. Or, it's light. And the light guides the way. Because it's easy to get lost in this world. So many that are lost. Like the Mesilas Yesharim, and Reb Nachman was big to teach and to tell his Talmidim to learn Mesilas Yesharim. So Baruch Hashem, we're following in the ways of Reb Nachman as his students, learning Mesilas Yesharim with our Chevera. That one of the things about this world is that things don't become always so clear. You're out at night, it's not pitch black, it's just a little bit black. And you see like a bush or something, but you think it's like an animal. It's really just a bush. But it's kind of spooks you. What's that on the floor? Is that a... It's not totally black, which means I see something, but I'm deceived by the thing that I see. Which in a certain way makes it even more deceptive. If everything is totally black, so I know, okay, I got to totally be careful here. But when things are not quite totally dark, but not quite light, it's not clear. So good thing we have the Torah. The Torah gives us light and guidance to navigate this world, the Alma de Shikra, because the Torah is called Emes. And Emes cuts through the Sheker. Like I once heard from a dear friend, the truth is never a lie. The Emes cuts through. The Emes shows us the way. Baruch Hashem, we have the Torah. And that was the transmission, the technology that God gave us at Har Sinai. It's not just enough that God creates the world but then leaves and is disinterested, but rather He shows interest, amazing interest in the creation through Har Sinai. Saying that I want to have a relationship with you. There's a direct transmission how we could have this relationship together. That was what happened at Har Sinai. And since that moment, which is the core of our Amunah, which we're learning a lot about in the 315, and we're going to continue next year, the 13 principles of core Jewish belief, the Yud Gimel Ikarim, which is that's the thing. They're all based on those incidents from coming out of Mitzrayim and receiving the Torah. And that guidance will make sure that we make it through. Like Reb Nachman teaches us, Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tzar me'od. The whole world is just a narrow bridge. Very narrow bridge. And the main thing is to recall, to have no fear at all. Is that we're on a narrow bridge, and the world of Sheker is hard to navigate because tells you to go this way and this way. But the Torah will take you on the narrow bridge. Because this whole world is just, as Chazal teach us, Olam Hazeh Doime LePruzdor. It's just like a narrow hallway before we get to the banquet hall, to the Traklin, before we get to a very special place that we're all going to. And by the way, my friends, it says the people that you make relationships with in this world, that you meet in the hallway, that's what I'm saying, Yaakov. The people that you make relationships here, those are the ones that you're going to spend time with when you get to the palace. It's nice, right? Long-term relationships. Very long-term relationships. Eternal relationships. And this is really what we're up to here, is that we said that the Nachash is everything that conceals this world. Everything that conceals us from seeing that we're going to the palace. Everything that conceals that there's a king that wants our relationship. Everything that makes us get lost in the sauce, like they say. Like when you have so many sauces, and you can have sauces, it's fine, just don't get lost in the sauce. Like if they didn't have that one that you really wanted, I can't even believe I came here. I cannot enjoy my hamburger anymore. I don't have that chipotle garlic mayo that I really was wanting. The whole thing's ruined. I'm lost in the sauce. It's okay. Thank you very much. I'm holding in a shahakol already. And the Nachash Shakadmoini, that was the original seduction. That was the original desire that the Nachash told Adam and Chava, that don't just be close to God. Become complex. You'll know Tov and Ra. Your eyes will be opened. We'll give you some internet access. You'll see everything. You'll get complex. And before that, Adam was just pure and straight. It was clear to him. And after the Nachash did what he did, it got complex. Now, by the way, we are taught if Adam would have first eaten from the tree of life, he could have eaten from the Eitz Hadas afterwards on Shabbos. He would have been able to handle the Eitz Hadas in a healthy way. He just needed to eat from the Eitz Chaim first. But the problem was he ate from the Eitz Hadas first, which means he ate before Kiddush. Don't eat before Kiddush. Don't play games. Not even water. What? Water? Not even water. Once you have the Eitz Chaim, you can eat from the Eitz Hadas. Reb Nachman is kuloi Eitz Chaim. This is just gushing with Eitz Chaim. It's the tree of life. Eitz Chaim hi l'machzikim ba. Like the Yeshiva said yesterday. The Torah is the tree of life. It gives us life. It's life-giving. The essence of it is life. And therefore it promotes life. It gives life. There's only one thing. L'machzikim ba. You just have to grab it. That there's a room full of Yidden here at 6 a.m. wanting to learn. That's life-giving. That means that you're machzikim ba. You're grabbing onto the Torah. You're saying, I want tree of life to give me life, to give me light, to navigate through the world, the Alma, the Shikra. And the Nachash, one of the main things the Nachash does is it makes us get lost in the Lamites Malachas. Lamites Malachas is being very busy in this world. Just like Paro did. Paro is also the Nachash, by the way. That's why the ancient Egyptians were big into snakes. Everything's like snake imagery and snakes coming out of the third eye. It's all snakes, serpentile, reptilian stuff. That's all the nachash. That's all that energy, that seductive energy that we're cautioned. And it makes us get lost in this world. It makes us get lost in lamites malachas, which is everything that we do to build this world. That's why it's subtle, because I thought we have to use the lamites malachas to build the world. Yeah, but there's a good thing we have a certain day of the week called Shabbos. We don't get lost in the sauce. Shabbos. On Shabbos, you refrain from every single one of the lamites malachas by saying, I know who runs this world. I know there's a God. The entire Shabbos is just about one thing. God exists. All the Yom Tovim have like a theme, you know what I'm saying? Like Pesach is about freedom. Freedom. If every Dabir is here, he'd give us a good one right now. Freedom. Sukkot was Simcha. Tisha B'Av is about pain and Mashiach. And accessing the deepest place, the deepest emotion, which is pain, and in that place birthing the salvation. Shavuos is about Torah. Chanukah, remember Chanukah? It's about miracles, it's about beauty. Chanukah is all about chayin, beauty, which is taking the sheker achayin vehevel hayofi and redeeming all of the beauty that was taken to the dark side, all the beauty and the allure of this world, which should be the most beautiful thing in the world, which is a relationship to God and Torah. And that beauty has been stolen by Hollywood, or just superficial beauty. We want to reclaim the beauty, to bring the beauty back from the sheker achein vehevel hayofi. This is the entire beginning of Likutei Moharan. Reb Nachman says, Torah Aleph. I hope one day we can get to Torah Aleph together. Torah Aleph is a lifetime avodah. The Rebbe says, Da ki ali de atayr niskablen kol atfilas. Through the Torah, all your prayers will be answered. Through the Torah, the light, all your prayers will be answered. The kol habakosha she'anu mevakshim mispalin ve'achein ve'achashivas, and that beauty of Torah, the beauty of Klal Yisrael, nis'alav and nisroimim b'fnei kol mi shetzrich, and anybody who needs whatever they need. And the need is not a superficial need. The need is the need to know how beautiful you are. It's a deep need. To see how beautiful you are. Hein b'ruchani, hein b'gashmi. Whether it's in spiritual matters, to see how beautiful you are spiritually. Hein b'gashmi. Also to see physically your own beauty. That yes, we're supposed to be beautiful. And we are. But it's been covered over by the sheker achein and the hevel hayofi. The world darkens us if we get lost in it. Ki achshav v'nisena rabin chein v'chashivas, all the beauty, ha'amiti shel Yisrael nofal. We've fallen. The beauty of what Klal Yisrael, what we're here to bring to the world, has fallen, and we need to redeem that. In the times of King Solomon, the whole world saw the beauty of the Jewish people. The nations of the world came to Yerushalayim to see the beauty of the Beis HaMikdash. You know, King Solomon planted all of the different fruits of the entire world here in Yerushalayim. Exotic mango trees, and Arctic berries and certain tundra bushes and Amazonian herbs, all sorts of special healing foods. They all existed here in Yerushalayim. But what do you mean? I thought you need to have the right climate for different foods. So King Solomon knew the secret, is that Yerushalayim is like the heart of the whole world. That Yerushalayim is the place that's supposed to give blessing to the world. And he knew the spiritual meridians. That's right. The spiritual meridian lines. That just like the heart has arteries and blood vessels going forth to the whole body, Jerusalem is like a spiritual heart. And he was able to plant the tree on the meridian line of where that tree, the meridian line, would go to, whether it's somewhere in the Arctic or somewhere in the Amazon. And if you just plant the tree on that line, it will grow here. So he planted all the beautiful trees of the world here. And the whole world came back to the source, back to their heart. And it was a time of great beauty. And we're going to get back to that. We're going to get back to that. That time of King Solomon. We're going to get back to that time of beauty again for the whole world. It's a very, very special time that's coming. The one thing that stops it is the Nachash. And the Nachash does something very, very specific. The Nachash has one energy that is his overriding energy. It's the energy that's like the thing that he does. What's the energy of the snake? The thing.
Seduction.
And seduction for anything that will lead to atzvus, to depression. Anything that'll get a person down. When a person gets down, they also become very inside themselves. That's his one thing. That's why it's very, very important. The Jewish people are into sadness and brokenness, but never depression. Like the Kotzker Rebbe said, there's nothing more whole than a broken heart. There's nothing more whole than a broken heart. Because when your heart breaks a little bit, it actually opens up. You start feeling. Sometimes it just had to crack a bit. It was a bit too stone. It was a bit too hard. Therefore, it needed to crack. It needed to break a bit. And then you start feeling. And then you have the Shifchi Kamayim Libeich, Noichach Pnei Hashem. The heart starts flowing, like we said on Shalosh Shuddis, and the waters start coming forth from your heart. The Shifchi Kamayim Libeich, Noichach Pnei Hashem. Like Jeremiah is teaching us, just pour your heart. Let it be a feeling heart, a fleishige heart. That's what I'm saying, Yaakov. A fleishige heart. It feels, not a heart of stone, but a heart of flesh. It feels. We're all about feeling. We love feeling. We're big people that are into feelings. So don't be afraid of your feelings. Sometimes in yeshiva you get a bit, like, not very like intellectual and stuff. Obviously you have to be. Hashem gave you a brain. But that's why some of the Chassidim don't like wearing ties. We like wearing gartels, right? Gartel goes around here to make sure to cut off this area and make sure there's a distinction between the lower area. So they say that maybe the tie is like putting a gartel around the neck. So it cuts off the head from going into the heart. I'm not anti-ties. It's been a long time since I wore one. But I'll tell you, you can wear a tie, no problem.
They're out of fashion now.
They're out of fashion?
I feel like they're coming out of fashion.
What are you talking about?
No, like go look in business. In business in Australia, no one wears a tie. It's not a thing anymore.
Not a thing anymore. Because they want to go from the head to the heart. They want to go from the head to the heart.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
They're wearing Beckers's now, right?
You just don't wear anything and turn the tie.
I want to open up the head to the heart. It could be. It could be. Reb Nachman?
maybe could have read enough and understood.
It could be.
No more black tie events, only black gartel events.
Black Gartel events. Because we want there to be a communication between the head and the heart. We're all about the communication, healthy communication between the head and the heart. The Nachash, though, wants to stop that connection. Wants to stop us from feeling. Take what you know in your mind and bring it into your heart. The heart is a very rich place. It's a very deep place, the place of the heart. Yerushalayim is the place of the heart. It's the place that's supposed to bring us back to our heart. It's the Leiv HaOlam. It's the heart of the world. It's supposed to reconnect us to our heart, which is a place of feeling and love. The Nachash wants to come in and hijack that feeling and to separate healthy feelings and isolate, and then a person starts feeling depressed. Lo aleinu. How does he do that? He gets you occupied entirely in this world. If I'm too occupied in this world without feeling a connection to the higher world, I start feeling separate and disconnected. That's the Nachash. That's the Lamites Malachas without Shabbos Kodesh. So Shabbos is the healing. Shabbos is the healing. So says the Rebbe, all of this, what happens, Lo Aleinu, when the heart, Chas v'Shalom, is not working properly? So one of the things about Reb Nachman, which is so deep, and you'll notice through the Likutei Moharan that he'll do this, he brings you into your body. He talks a lot about the body. So if the heart's not working properly, because the Nachash has come in, something will be affected called your pulse, which we've been talking about, the pulse. The ruach of the doifek becomes affected. That's why Reb Nachman said, if you have a really good doctor, somebody really knows what he's talking about. So you feel the pulse. The doctor feels the pulse. And he's connecting really to the whole well-being of the human being. You're really connecting, just feel the pulse. I told you that I met some real big people in Toronto that could from Chinese medical doctors, people that were like serious doctors. Like serious people. And they could sew people's limbs back on, like major people. And I went to visit some of them, and they just felt my pulse. Felt my pulse, they just looked at me, felt my pulse, and they were feeling for many different things, at least 9 different indicators, at least. Especially, they would use at least 3 or 4 fingers all along the line of the pulse here, feeling and just becoming sensitive to what's going on in my internal world. And I could say, I see that things are off here, I see that things are off here, the pulse is off. And they gave direction. So Nachman is in this world. He pulls you and shows you that if the Nachash has come in, and therefore the heart is affected because there's some type of a Chalila, Lo Aleinu, depression, Chas v'Shalom, then something is being affected in the pulse. It will show up in the pulse. And if the pulse is affected, then the body becomes affected. And what Reb Nachman's been talking about is you need to learn the secret of returning your pulse to a healthy state. And Reb Nachman actually said how to do that. He said with a good sigh. Reb Nachman's, this whole Torah is about sighing. And an anocha. Either it's like a Wim Hof technique, or it's some other type of a technique, but it's the idea of a good sigh. Of just, because what does a good sigh do? It rebalances you. Everything's going on, you're stressed, somebody's at work, and sometimes the best thing you could do as a coworker, if you see some guys bugging out, that's a technical term people use nowadays, bugging out, I'm bugging. Sometimes just bugging. If some guy's bugging out at work, you just tell him, just take a deep breath together. There's like an immediate calm that happens to a person. And what is that calm all about? It's about returning the pulse to normal. And the sigh is about getting this like wind, this ruach, back into the body. And Rab Nachman said, just like if you have a body of water that's stagnant and no wind is moving through it, what's going to happen to that body of water? Stagnant water is going to get a bit, ooey. Or as the Israeli kids say, ichsa. It's going to be a bit like ichsa. And you don't want to drink that water. That's stagnant, sitting water. So if your body is just like sitting water and the pulse isn't moving, coursing with energy, then the waters become stagnant. But if you could learn to sigh, breathe, and you start bringing the ruach through the system again, that it's like bringing movement to the water. And the waters are life-giving once again. That's why sometimes one of the best things to get out of the atzvus and that depression, just move. Just bring movement back into the system. Get the pulse moving. Get out of bed. Let's go do something. Let's go help somebody. Let's go to an orphanage. Let's go make a move. Let's make a move. We just got to get involved. We got to go do something. We got to move. Amen. And this is what it means that when Moshe Rabbeinu was davening, and we said the major place that you find the pulse is in the hands. Why did God make it that way? To tell you that the hands, this whole Torah is also about the hands. That's the ikr place of the pulse. Because the hands are the place that gets us involved in this world. Hands always represent work, malchus. But how are my hands operating? Are my hands operating in holy things? Or are my hands just busy with this world exclusively? And that's Paroi. Paro just wanted to keep us busy. Just build and build and build, and don't have time to even think about a redemption. Just be too busy. And that means you could even be too busy in good things, but you forget the main thing. Like I heard from a dear friend of mine, you have to keep the main thing the main thing. Very important in life. Keep the main thing the main thing. So Paro makes sure that the main thing doesn't remain the main thing. He keeps you so busy that you forget there's even a main thing. And that's why I told you there was somebody in Yeshiva one time, a very chashuv person, and he was learning a lot of Gemara. And he was learning and learning and learning. I could tell he was just like a little bit lost, even in learning. So I said to him one time, I said, how's your relationship with Hashem going? He says, Hashem, I'm too busy learning Gemara. I don't think about Hashem. How could that be? How could it be? Because you could get so busy, even in a good thing. What do you mean? But the whole Torah is Hashem. The Torah is God's name. You're calling Hashem towards you. Like we said in the beginning of the Torah. When you learn Hashem's Torah, it's like calling God to be close to you. Because when I want to hang out with Yosef, so I say Yosef. So when I say Yosef, I mean like, I'm not just saying a name, I mean you. I want you to come. I'm interested in you, that relationship with you, the whole of you. The name is just the way that I can like communicate with the entirety of your neshama, the entirety of your soul. That's why your name is a very big thing. It's like the interface between the neshama and the rest of the world. So I have a name, I have Yosef, but when I say Yosef, I'm not just saying those letters, I'm saying I want the wholeness of you. So if the Torah is God's name, so when I want God, I say His name, which is the Torah. I'm calling God towards me. So even there, if I don't remember that I'm calling God towards me, Paro could also get involved. So we're bringing Hashem towards us when we learn Torah. You just have to remember that. Because Paro gets us very, very busy. Very, very busy. And if our hands are busy without Hashem, it'll show up in the pulse. Start seeing it. The pulse will be off. Lo aleinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu, when he's on the mountain, he's lifting his hands in prayer. And when the hands became heavy, it was a sign that things weren't going well. That's why Chassidim, we always dance with our hands up. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason for that. There's a big reason for that. It's very healthy, by the way. You understand the kind of cardiovascular work you're doing when your hands are above your head? It's amazing for the body. Yes, Yosef?
Rabbi, you brought up one time how the hands could symbolize Shemayim, and I was curious to hear if you could maybe elaborate on that idea.
So that is really what this Torah is going into, is that the hands are always associated, lift your hands up to the heavens. Shemayim, Rashi points out, is composed, as he's bringing down from Chazal, Shemayim is composed of a few different ideas. Shemayim either means Sham Mayim, over there is water. Shemayim, Sham Mayim, over there is water. The heavens are a place of waters. That's why when we say that God created Bereshis Bar Elokim Esa Shemayim Ve'esa Aretz, and people say, where's the water? That's in Shemayim. Sham Mayim. And also Chazal point out that Shemayim is a combination of Eish and Mayim. The Shin is the letter of fire. Even looks like a fire. The Shin. Shemayim is Eish Umayim. Fire and water. Shemayim is a place where even opposites can exist together. They could cohabit together. That's why we say, Kimei Shamayim al Haaretz, that we're going to bring heaven down to earth. We say it in our tefillah, Kimei Shamayim, like the days of heaven, here, on the land. What does that mean, like the days of the heaven on the land? Well, yes, we're going to see heaven in this world. Great days are coming. That Mashiach is going to come. We're going to see heaven on earth, which is very exciting. We're going to see Shemayim on the land. Specifically, we're going to see that if Shemayim is a Shumayim, which means that two opposites can exist, we'll see that also on this land. We usually think that two opposites can never exist. We're going to see that people down here who are even so different will be able to communicate, will be able to get along. Nations will make peace with each other. That's also what it means, that Shemayim, Kimei Shamayim ala Haaretz, that the days of Shemayim will be here on the land, that even the heavens, even the opposite things, Eish and Mayim don't usually go together, that even opposites will exist together, Kimei Shamayim ala Haaretz, like the days of the heavens on the earth, that Eish Umayim will exist together here on the Haaretz. Because the Haaretz will be activated. The land will be activated because what is Haaretz? Haaretz is the letters Aleph, Ratz. I'm just running to the Aleph. Aleph is Alufo Shel Olam. Aleph is the one. When the Haaretz itself becomes filled with an Aleph Ratz, that we're all just running to God, then even Kimei Shamayim ala Haaretz, even the Eish Umayim, even those that are opposites will start coexisting together. The lion and the lamb will all be together. We'll no longer have war. We'll beat all of the weapons into plowing shears and tools, which means tools of building. We'll start building together. Imagine humanity all building together. Wouldn't that be so beautiful? It will, it's going to happen. We're all working together. Look what we could do if we all work together. So that is what's happening. So the hands, which represent Shemayim, why the hand Shemayim? Because there's a right hand and a left hand. The right hand, right is represented with Chesed. Chesed is Mayim. Chesed is always Mayim. Lots of Mayim. So to be careful, too much chesed is too much mayim. That's what happened during the times of the Mabel. The left is Gevura. Gevura is Eish. It's Eish. So the hands are Shemayim because it's Mayim and Eish. Eish Umayim is Shemayim. That's why the hands are always identified with Shemayim. Lifting your hands to Shemayim, which means lifting your heart up to Shemayim, which means combating the Nachash who wants to depress us and just make us people of the land exclusively. It's called Am Haaretz. Just to be literally only down here. Was we're always reaching our hands up. That's what the Chassidim are dancing with the hands up. Or conductors. Mamish up there, you know what I'm saying? Awesome for the cardiovascular system. Mamish. I was learning this Torah with somebody yesterday, and he's like, oh, my brother is literally the Gabbai of the number one conductor in the world. I said, wow, like that's literally a very exclusive, interesting role to have as we're talking about lifting your hands up to Shemayim. It's like, yeah, it's like literally his thing, his entire life. It's amazing. And therefore we want to lift our hands up to Shemayim, and that's why when Moshe Rabbeinu's hands were kvedim, when they came down, things weren't going well. But when his hands are lifted to Shemayim, things are going well. V'zebech in his itzvah yadayim, ki ikar mazaka atzvus ruach la'yadayim k'nir la'el. V'kashayvarm kfedim, as a machbidim yoyser la ruach hadoife v'nechlash oid yoyser. And this is the problem if the hands become low, depressed, and the pulse becomes depressed, then the hands become heavy, the body becomes heavy. The heavier the pulse is, the heavier the body becomes. And if the body becomes heavy, then the pulse weakens. And then that weakens the body. And then it just goes in a circle, chalila, until the whole spark of life is reduced. So the tikkun of that is raising the hands, returning vitality to the pulse. And this is what it means. V'zeh nisa levavenu el kapayim el kel bashamayim. Pasuk in Eicha. That we're going to lift up our hearts and lift up our hands to Shemayim. Hands and heart and Shemayim is all one thing. Shetzarech lisas alev. We have to lift up our heart. We have to fix our hearts. There's nothing more whole than a broken heart. To fix our hearts. To bring back the chen and the chashivas. To bring back all the beauty. To be feeling people. To have a richness of love in our hearts. Beinan l'chaveroi is all about the heart. V'ahavta l'recha kamoicha, of loving. V'zeh el kel bashamayim. Because when we do that, we start purifying Shemayim. Start elevating Shemayim. We start returning Shemayim down to this world. Because when we start purifying the hands, which means that we're not only living in the world of the Lamites Malachas, we're living in the world of Shabbos. Ba Shabbos ba Menucha. Because when Shabbos comes, it brings a great healing. Shabbos comes and I realize that these hands don't need to be busy all the time here. And I realize who's the one who's really helping me do everything. That's why there was no man on Shabbos. Shabbos is the man. It doesn't need to fall. You don't need to go look for it. It's the mikveh of the nun. Getting to that place of great das, an amazing connection. And all of this is here to build our malchus in this world. Like we began the entire Torah, that every single person has malchus. Ki yesh b'kol echad miYisrael b'chinas malchus. Every single one of us has a responsibility to use our hands in this world and to teach, to give, and to influence. We just can't get lost in the sauce and use the malchus just to serve our own interests. The 6 days of the week get us confused because we're building things for ourselves. Sadly, if it's exclusively. Comes Shabbos Kodesh, and Shabbos resets the whole story. Now, why are we building anything? For ki mea shamayim ala aretz, to bring heaven and earth, and to connect shamayim to aretz, to the aleph rats, that we're just here to run to Hashem. The whole world is here to bring Hashem into the world, to use our hands to build Hashem a kingdom for you in this world, and to work together to do that. And we said every single one of us has different levels of responsibility in this. Sari alafim, sari meis, sari chamishim, sari asaras. Every single one of us has different levels of responsibility. And even the person that we would say, what do you mean? He's one of the 9 guys that are, someone's in charge of those 9 guys. No, you have to be a moshel, bebeisai, shirda bebeisai. You have to at least take care of your home, your family, to be a leader. We always said that Haman, he couldn't even take care of his family. He couldn't even run the affairs of his own home because he wants to hijack the malchus. He wants to steal the malchus, that it should be used for not good things, just for his own interests. And he makes the malchus into an eved, like a slave. You have to learn that the malchus should be free, like Mordechai at Tzaddik. The malchus is free, the Mordachia. We said that we have 2 types of malchus. We have a malchus that's revealed and a malchus that's hidden. We said there's one in the world that even though the revealed malchus doesn't seem so revealed right now, but in the deepest hidden way, this one has malchus over all and influences everyone. That's Hashem. In a great secret way, Hashem is influencing everyone. Like the Baal Shem and others said, sometimes it's hard to see the Melech in the palace, to go in there. When you finally see him on the throne, then you know that he's the Melech. But when the Melech is on the run, he's in the fields, and he's baderech, and you just go outside and you can invite the king in to stay by you. This is the time, hisiguhu bebein hamitzarim, that we can find Hashem during this time. And it's certainly more than any other time, because the king is on the run. And all those that help the king while he's on the run, we know that when he returns to his throne, that those people will be very loyal and very close to the king. And we know that the king is coming back to his throne very, very soon. Now is the time, though. This is a unique time. This is literally the end of all of the history. But it's not the end. It's just the end of the beginning. It's just the end of the beginning. It's very, very long-term relationships. It's the end of the beginning of this part of the story. But the end of this beginning of the part of the story is unique in that the king is still not yet on the throne. And therefore you have an opportunity now, which won't exist later, after the end of the beginning, to show a great loyalty to the king. Because he's going to be back on the throne. And then this time of the Nachash, this time of darkness that we are overcoming, won't exist ever again. Can you even imagine that? It will never again exist. This time of darkness and nachash will completely be done forever. And then we'll go into this eternal life. So this is literally the end of the beginning of this long story for all of humanity that we're in now. And we have this amazing opportunity. And we hope, mamish today, that this is going to be the actual end of the beginning of the story. That the king will come back to the throne. We're going to see great das fill the world. Yemalia arts deas Hashem kamaim liyam mechasem. And we're davening now. It's a very big day of tefillah. We're davening now. The King will come back to the throne once and for all, and that our pulse, our ruach, will course through us in a tremendously powerful way. We'll be enlivened with the power of Shemayim, Kimei Shemayim ala Aretz, that we'll see great peace and shalom fill the world, because when there's das, there's peace. And we'll see that there'll be machlokes l'shem Shemayim. Moshe Rabbeinu will be back. We'll see the machlokes Shammai and Hillel, because kol machlokes shi l'shem Shemayim v'la'olam miskayim will always go on, and everyone will have their own opinion and their own voice, but they won't be fighting. They'll be building, and everyone will have a voice and a contribution of what to say. I'm so excited to hear that people can actually speak without fighting, that everyone will have a voice and say their piece. It's amazing we say their piece. It means a piece, but it means say their piece. Their piece, creating peace. Everyone will have this piece of the story. Everyone will say their piece. Everyone, literally. But the voice will be a voice of peace. And it will bring great healing to the world. That's the refuah that will come. That's how when Mashiach comes, the whole world will see tremendous healing that will happen. Living long, long lives. And disease will be gone from the world. And it's up to us to use our malchus, to influence, to build Hashem that malchus here. We should see once and for all that Yemalea Aretz Deas Hashem, that Hashem will return once and for all, and we'll see that the King returns to his throne. With the Binyan Beis HaMikdash, and Mashiach Tzidkeinu, it should come mamish right now. Bimheira v'yameinu. Amen. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, my dear friends. We should be zocheh to all the brachos of the Torah.